Alright, I think I have it set up so that you can hear me. Let's see. So, first thing you're gonna need is some of these scripts, and it doesn't look like it. Oh, I need to commit them. So I upload them to GitHub just so that it'd be easy to download. Give me 1 second. Syncing. I can copy paste you the link. I put it in the Twitch chat. Let's see if it actually. There we go. So you're gonna want to set up. You can open your UDK folder, which mine's a little. I have 2 copies because I kept the 2015 version, so I put it under a different one. But yours would just be UDK. And then you should see this. So you go to development and then source, and you're gonna have a whole bunch of folders in here that are responsible for some of the items you can place on your map. And if you have UDK running, you can go ahead and close it for now because you have to rerun it once you've made the changes. And there might be an easier way to do this, but who knows. So first you're gonna want to create a new folder. There's already a UT game, but Rocket League uses TA game, so you're gonna want to create, just right click new folder and make one called TA game. Once you've done that, you can open that folder. You can ignore these are the GitHub stuff, but you just want to create another folder called classes. So same thing, new folder classes. And then in here is where you're going to place the scripts that are found in this classes folder on GitHub. Specifically, if you're trying to do boost, you should only need. You might as well just copy all of them. You can get them easily by just doing cloner download and then download zip. Would probably be easiest. That way you can have those dummy classes. I'll keep adding as I go through. I've been messing with a lot of stuff. I was doing goals yesterday, and I can trigger a goal, but the game crashes after that. I think due to something with saving the data, but besides the point. So once you have copied all of those into that classes folder, since I'm specifically going to one person, I'm going to message you on Steam to see when you've done that. I guess I should move stuff so I can actually see this. Alright, so go ahead. Once they've been copied in there, we can't actually run UDK yet because we need to tell it to look for these scripts. So you'd go back to that UDK folder, which should just be UDK for you, and then UDK game, and then config, and you'll see a whole bunch of ini files. We want to change default engine.ini. You can do it using any editor. Notepad works fine. I use Notepad++ just because it has a couple more features. And then you're going to look for a section that says Unreal ED Editor Engine. And you can ignore this hello world. That was just my own testing with some events. But you need to add this line. I'm going to paste it. The edit packages equals TA game. And that just tells our UDK when it loads to look for those extra packages that we have added. Okay, so once you've edited that and you saved it, you can go ahead and start up UDK. Now yours, actually, I need to make a change so that you can actually see the difference. Yours, when you start it up, is going to ask you if you would like to recompile scripts, and you want to hit yes. I can force mine to do that temporarily. I need to make shortcuts to all this crap. Actually, let's delete it because I need to fix that class anyway. So now when I launch it, I lied. I don't know why it didn't. I guess if I remove one, it doesn't care. It's if I change it. Anyway, yours should prompt you for that. I'm actually curious. I wonder if I change it. It's gonna make canon non-placeable for the moment. Yeah, there you go. It says scripts are outdated. Would you like to rebuild now? You hit yes. And it should successfully, it'll pop up. Okay, fine. It's a better tutorial if I actually show it. Hit yes, it'll pop up this. It'll be compiling scripts. Mine failed because, what did I screw up? Apparently non-placeable is not what I thought it was. Huh. Well, hopefully it'll do it again for me, but. There, no, it hits me. Oh, I have UDK open. I'm not too bright. Been on the computer too long today. So just let me know if you had any trouble getting it to compile. There you go. You should see success errors or warnings. Good, it's worked. So then you can. I have to exit. For some reason, it doesn't auto close that and open UDK. There might be a way to get it to open from there. So then you can open UDK, and I'm just going to use my really crappy template map that I've been doing. So here's my map, and now you're gonna you'll see if you pull up if you go to View, Browser Windows, and then Actor Classes, it'll pop up this. And under there, it's going to have a whole bunch of classes. Now, your custom classes that we added, the Rocket League classes, should show up. If you uncheck this stuff, all three, the use actors, parent, blah, 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 all the different classes, and then if you search for Boost, specifically, since that's what you're most interested in, you should see these extra classes and their extra objects. So I'm going to wait and see if you... your boost objects show up. Alright, so from there, it really is as simple as taking the boost object, selecting it there, and dragging and dropping it onto your map. Now finding it, I always have to go through the scene, which is in that same actor class. If you just go over to scene, you get a list here, and then if you click on it, should show up. Should being the keyword. There's mine. Way up in the sky for some reason when I drag and dropped it. Now I need to mess around with getting them to actually have more depth and size, and originally Rocket League binds them to a collision cylinder, and so that's what I need to do next. I was just happy to get the boost working itself. So what you do, I set up this little static mesh as a kind of marker. I already have a boost in there. I'm gonna set this one. You drag in vehicle pickup boost TA. I don't know how much of a lag there is. The FX actor is supposed to be like the animation when the boost gets picked up. So, alright, so let's see which one I selected. So right now I'm just going to mess with the one I already created. I'll put this one randomly somewhere for now, but once it's in there and you go to scene, you'll see a whole bunch of options over here. And there's really only two options. The rest of these, I'm sure how we could make it actually have some depth and bind it to a collision cylinder, all that stuff. I think on mine, I added a skeletal mesh component. I did something initially. I'm not sure if it actually makes too much difference, but the main things we want to look at are boost amount and respawn delay. The default for one of the boostPads is what they call them, is 4 seconds. I set mine to 2 for testing, so the respawn delay is the number of seconds that it's going to take to respawn. The boost amount is how much boost you get. Now, when they do a boost pill, which is the giant 100% boost, is what they call a boost pill, they set the value to 9,999, like 4 nines. I can't type. I don't bother. If you want to do that, you can. I don't know why they do that. The default boost pad is 0.12. That's it. So, if I were to, I've already saved this map and loaded it, so as my example, I'm going to fire up Rocket League. From there, you do the normal. Once you've placed it, you've changed your settings and saved it for your boost pad. You do build all, and then file, save, current level. So I'll launch Rocket League. And wait patiently. I have too many files in there. It's taking forever to load. And go to training. Now we want to go to basic training or advanced I think basic's the only one with the 34 boost, I think. I gotta fix spawn points. So now, when I drive, you see I have 34 boost. When I drive under my little pillar, it goes up to 0.12. Ah, like a lot of games use that pill. Well, now I know. I was just informed that it's called a boost pill because in the prequel SARP-BC, the big boost pad was a pill. Yeah, I wish I got to play. I didn't even know about this game until Rocket League actually came out. But yeah, so I have my respawn set to 2. If I sit here, 1, 2, 1, 2, and it works. The timing works, and if you do, I should have made the other boost pad be a giant one and put it somewhere, but then I use boost, go back for my boost, and yeah. So I mean, you could bind it to pretty much anything. It's just the event was the main thing I was concerned in getting working. Oh, I missed. I need some kind of. Oh, yeah, there's a collision or a blocking volume up there. I totally forgot about. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much it for boost. There's a goal volume in those dummy classes. If you drag that in, that's what would trigger a goal. However, if you drag it in as soon as you score, your game will crash. So, still working on that, but this was my main focus, and now it's figured out. Oh, the other thing, because of those classes, there's, this is something, if you want to create an actual game and use exhibition and not training, this way we could change other map names, you can drag in, go to actor classes, search for, this is another one of those dummy classes that I added, search for player start. Yep, I can type all day and can't find it. And you'll see a player start TA, which is the new class that's part of the dummy classes. And if you drag that under your map, you drag 2 of them, and then you go to scene, and then you go to your player starts. You set one to have a team index of 1, the other to have a team index of 0. Then when you go to load your map in exhibition, I will do all-star bots. When you load your map in exhibition, it'll actually spawn bots. Now this map is completely pointless because there's no goals. But oh yeah, and it's kind of funny if I can get them to drive off. They chase the ball, so if you hit it off, I have a gravity volume surrounding this whole map. Wait, the bots didn't go for it. What the heck, bots? Maybe they saw me. Usually they go for it. Anyway, yeah, they'll chase it around. Come on, drive off the edge. What the heck? They got smarter. Get out there. There you go. And off he goes. But yeah, so now we can use exhibition maps, which is awesome because you can add time limits, kind of like if you wanted to do a time-based map. Because I think, actually, I haven't tried mutators. Let's see, game speed. That's not chipset. I'm more curious in super fast. Let's see what happens here. But yeah, this at least gives us access to mutators. I'm working on custom mutators too, but that's sure. I'm gonna set really low respawn time. Oh, that works. Oh, there they went for it. So yeah, now we can use exhibition, and you can create more spawn points. I think they have like 10 on most maps. I was looking at some of the default maps. I've looked at the wall stuff. I haven't actually looked too much, but it should definitely be possible. Yeah, the ball spawn, I was, again, I haven't really, oh crap. I forgot there's no boost in this. Should have put boost charge on. My gravity volume's actually backfiring here. I would rather be, wow, the bot figured out how to get back. That's incredibly impressive. Where did he go? Maybe he didn't. Maybe I was deceived. Or he's stuck. But yeah, it should be possible to do all those. If you export them in UE Explorer, then they show up. So that's next up on my list. Because I'm pretty sure they spawn where I put the spawn points. So, and I did kind of hack together some of the classes. I think the boost class is not actually how they do it exactly. Not granted it works in that, but I don't know if it would trigger. Obviously, it's not triggering the events right now. The FX. Let's see. Where am I going? Here I'm going. And there's a whole bunch of errors with the bots because they don't have a path to the goal because there is no goal. So you divide by 0 frequently. So actually, this is probably not a good example of, or a good way to compare them. Be better if I just went to training. But yeah, you see that unlike normally, you don't get a whole bunch of errors now that I've put in the player starts, those player start spawn points. You don't get the annoying billion errors right when you start training. So, alright, I think that's everything. I'm gonna keep working on the classes, and I'll add them to that GitHub. I guess I'll make a post on this subreddit too, just so people can put in their own boost stuff, and hopefully, I guess I should try to put together a tutorial on actually the method of finding them. Really, all you do is you find the classes in Unreal Explorer, say for, well, this is a map, but I had trouble loading the most recent tagame.upk into UE Explorer. I'm working on fixing that because I'm sure they made some changes. So this is an older version. I think it's actually like 1.05 or something of Rocket League that I took that TA game. But you can look through and see the classes. For instance, Car TA. It's got all this extra stuff. And all you do is you can take, and really all you need is this line, in the carta.uc, which is in here looks like. This is, I'll show you for comparison. This is what our carta.uc looks like in our actual UDK script directory. So you can see it's a lot simpler. Now, if you wanted, you could start including these extra settings, and you should be able to tweak them, just like for the boost pad. I added these two settings because they are settings in the original ones that allow you to set the boost amount and the respawn delay. But since I put these var floats, that's why they show up under my properties for the boost pad, boost amount and respawn delay. So originally, I tried copy and pasting all that stuff. All of this crap. And that's where I got tripped up, because Rocket League already has these classes defined. It's fine for you to include the class names, and as long as you keep the name and the return value. The problem is, a lot of the time, UE Explorer couldn't find the right definitions. And for instance, this class, like when it does a for loop, which is just a way of iterating over some stuff in programming, it hacks together a weird if statement with a go to jump, which is just not how it'd normally be done. And so it's not exactly, UE Explorer gives you a close idea of how they built the game. It's a very good decompiler, but it's not perfect. It's not an exact replica of how the game was programmed. And there are a lot of ones. This red means that there was an error. If you look, you can see an exception, which means it wasn't able to export everything perfectly. And so my plan is really to go through, and I probably should just write a program to do it, because I've already exported all these classes, to just go and generate those little dummy classes like boost and car, the really simple ones, so that we can import them and use them. Because once they're imported, even though UDK you can't show the boost or anything like that in here, once it's loaded into Rocket League, it'll put in the correct meshes and all that. Not to say we couldn't eventually import those meshes ourselves. I think we have some people actually working on that. I'm not one of them. I suck at graphic programming, as you can tell by my flat platform map with my... I should move this down so that it's on the boost. That would be good. Anyway. So now when I drive through that, I get boost. And let's get rid of this before I forget. So... yeah, I think that is pretty much it on how to put in boosts and how to get it to load an exhibition. I'll post this stuff, a link to this crappy video on subreddit, and I'll put a little more details as far as how to get it to work and how to keep putting in more classes. So, alright, good stuff.